So today in reading, this is what we're going to talk about. Readers think about the kinds of text features that are in personal narratives so that they can better understand what they're reading. And we're going to do this. We're going to think like readers about this, and we're going to think like writers about it afterwards. Okay, so you're going to be doing some writing too. In reading, though, a personal narrative is a story about something that happened to a person in real life. Would you agree with that or disagree? Agree? Agree. Okay, so we know that. Now, this is going to be fun. We have to think about what are some text features that happen in a personal narrative. When I say text features, I mean things that come up a lot in a personal narrative. So you already heard this personal narrative. Can you think of any text features that you noticed in here? Let me show you a few of the ones that I thought of. You ready to see? Yeah. And then I need your help because I only have a couple up here. All right, what's the first one say? Georgia, read that first one. Small moments full of emotion. That's a text feature found in a personal narrative. Agree? What's the second one? Read that one for me, Justin.
Fiction elements, history, problem, solution.
Yeah, so there's fiction elements, even though it's true, right? This was true. But there's elements of fiction. There's characters, there's a problem, there's a solution. Sometimes there's tension, there's a plot, like a story. What's the third one that we have that's a common text feature? Who wants to read it? Maddie?
Author's thoughts are included.
Okay, did the author include his thoughts in here? He said we shouldn't have gone that way, didn't he?
Yes.
So he's including his thinking. What else could be a text feature? Now, that not always in personal narratives, but what else could be a text feature that you think might be in personal narratives? This can be a challenge, so you got to think. What else?
Sound?
Oh! So words that have sounds, what are those called? I know you know. What are those called? Words that make sounds. Well, there's a whole page of them. You can say it if you know. Very good. Okay, so words that are onomatopoeia are what type of words? What would you call those? They're sound words, but in a bigger category, would you put them in more like a, Georgia?
Like maybe what's going on.
Yeah, descriptive, right? So there's a lot of descriptive words. That's a really good one. When we read personal narratives, there's a lot of descriptive words that help us see, hear, maybe touch, right, in what's happening in that person's moment in life. Can you think of another text feature? That is a really good one. It's tough. Think of any more? What do you think?
Picture? Pages where they don't have words.
Okay, so sometimes, but what do they have
They have
instead of words?
they have
Pictures, right? So sometimes there's a lot of strong pictures. Okay, so we'll call them illustrations. How about that? Strong illustrations. Now I want you to turn and talk with your partner. I got to find my little chime. There it is. About just brainstorm. Even if you don't know the answer, that's okay. Maybe your partner will help you think of something. What other text features could there be in here? Turn and talk with a partner. I want to see everyone talking. I'll be your partner. So what do you think?
About like text features, that a lot of pages were just full of sound and not anything else. And there was like, and some of the pictures there was like light, like the train had light, and I thought that was cool how they made it look brighter, like the train actually had a light out through the book.
That's a really good point. I like that. Good thinking.
There's a lot of kids.
Yes, I know. In that example, there are.
maybe personification, maybe.
Nice work. Okay, Lee, now you have to tell me what your partner said, not what you said.
Never take the easy way out.
Okay, very good. I like it.
Personification.
Personification. Wonderful. What is personification?
When a non-human object takes a human act.
Okay. And how was that in Shortcut?
It was like the train whistled.
Oh,
Whistled.
trains can whistle, but we had the picture of it whistling too, the words coming out. I see where you're going with that. What else did you say, Brock?
Alliteration.
Alliteration. What is alliteration?
It's where the sentence has more than one starting word.
Mm-hmm.
Like more than one starting letter.
Like the big, beautiful balloon bursted. Yes, good. So that would be under what? Descriptive?
Yes.
Descriptive, okay. Sophia?
Me and my partner said that there was few words on each page.
Okay. So with a personal narrative, you don't have to make a really, really long story to tell a small moment. Okay. So I'm going to put down, and you know what? I forgot to give you guys something. I'm going to say it doesn't have to be super long. How about that? Because it's a small moment. And because we're using really descriptive words, it doesn't have to be super long. Now, I know you guys are very smart learners, so I'm going to give you something to put all these notes on, okay? And it looks just like my anchor chart. So I think you can figure it out. And I want you to write down all of the text features that we're coming up with together on here, okay? So as we're writing, start filling these in. I'm going to put a couple more on here, and then I'm going to read one other story to you, and then you're on your own. I'll show you what you're going to do. All right, I'm going to put vivid detail. What does vivid mean? What is vivid detail? What do you think? Yeah.
Very clear image in your mind.
So when you're reading as a reader, you know that the writer did a great job when you can picture it in your mind. Raise your hand if you've ever read something and you can just picture what's happening. That's what people who write personal narratives want you to do as a reader, right? They want you to picture it. It's way more fun too to picture it. Because you want to imagine that it's happening to you, right? When we were reading Shortcut, it was kind of like we wanted to feel like, what if that happened to us? And it's about, we'll fit one more on here. It's just about one important event. I'll move so you guys can finish this. So the reason I want you to write these down is because this is a 10-minute little lesson, but I want you to remember this forever. So you can write this down, and this lesson becomes something that you can learn forever. You got it? Thank you. So get all this down. When we write things down, we don't forget it. And while you're writing this down, I'm going to read you one quick little story that's a personal narrative, and I want you to listen and see if you can hear any of these text features. Challenge accepted? Okay, I want you to see and be ready to tell your partner what you heard after I finish reading. It's just front and back, really short. Oh, and this is one of the pictures that Malaya made. Can you see it? That's what Malaya drew. Okay, so it's called A New Beginning. So remember, what kind of story is it? It's a personal narrative, which is a story that's a small moment with a lot of emotion. I stood at the entryway of my new school and stared. I was unsure of what to feel. I was nervous and excited at the same time. After all, we had a new apartment away from the chaos of my old block. I began to walk to the metal door, and as I pulled on the handle, I saw a few kids coming up behind me. Can you picture it? A little? Coming up behind me. They were all talking together, laughing, and one kid gave another kid a fist bump. I can do this, I thought to myself as I bravely walked into the entrance, glancing at the other kids and half smiling. Hey guys, what are we doing after school today? I heard one kid ask the other. We're going to play basketball over at Chico's place, said one of the other kids. At this point, I walked toward the school office and felt about 1 million eyes on me. Ooh. The other kids had spotted me and instantly labeled me the new kid with their stares. I could feel the fear and nervousness taking over the excitement I was feeling moments ago. "Hey there, can I help you?" asked an older woman sitting behind a desk. Her nameplate said Mrs. Gonzalez, school secretary. "My name is Tyrone and it's my first day," I muttered. With a big smile on her face, she said, "Oh, welcome, Tyrone. You'll begin your day in Mr. Dale's class in room 108. That's just down the hall on the right." She handed me a piece of paper and added, "Here is your schedule. Mr. Dale will assign you a student helper today to show you around and learn where everything is. Do you have any questions?" "No, I don't think so," I said in my quiet voice. "Well then, off you go and have a great day," she added with a smile. I turned and walked out of the office. The hallway had a lot less kids in it and it was much quieter. I took my steps slowly as I headed to Mr. Dale's room, trying not to appear lost and hoping I really wasn't. As I approached room 106, I knew 108 would be next. With a deep breath and my head held high, I walked into the room. Have you ever felt like a brand new shiny penny? Everyone oohing and awing around you? That's exactly how I felt. As soon as I entered the room, every single person, including the tall man standing at the front, stopped talking and stared at me. I froze. After what seemed like minutes instead of seconds, Mr. Dale smiled and walked over to me. "You must be Tyrone. We're so excited you are here. Welcome." As he was talking, a kid walked up to us. I immediately recognized him as one of the kids I saw walking into school earlier. "Hey, what's up? I'm Shane," he said as he nodded at me. "Shane is going to be your peer mentor today. I'll show you around and help you with your schedule," Mr. Dale said. "He'll show you around and help you with your schedule." I looked up at Shane, who was a little taller than me, and nodded my head toward him. He nodded back and smiled. Then he said, "Do you play basketball?" That was the moment I immediately knew I was going to fit in at my new school. So how is this like a personal narrative? What text features does this have? And were there any other ones that you noticed? Talk to your partner about what text features you heard in here that's like a personal narrative. Talk to your partner. You didn't get what? I'm sorry. Sorry about that. You guys know? How is this like a personal narrative?
About one important event.
Yeah. What else did it have in it?
Scripted words.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh! What do you think?
I heard a lot of vivid details, and I heard what was it? Descriptive words.
Yeah.
There was it was about and like about the one important event. I felt it was kind of like school. The other classes did substitutes.
You could really tell what that event was. Yeah. Very good. I love it. Hello. Okay, what did you notice? Go ahead and just say it. What was the first thing you noticed that you said? Vivid details. Okay, good. What else? Yes. Did he have a lot of emotion in here? Did he share about how he was feeling?
Yeah.
A lot, right? Okay, that's a good writing then. Yes, Riley. It had a problem and a solution, so there were fictional elements. Excellent. Lindsay.
Descriptive words.
Yes. Can anyone remember what any of the descriptive words were? I remember the part where he said he felt like a shiny new penny. That was kind of descriptive. What else?
When he described exactly about the secretary, was it?
Yes.
Everything on her desk and everything.
Right. So he used all the descriptions to describe what was on her desk. Remember, what time passed in this one?
Oh, I thought that was days.
Not even a day, right? Just like the start of his new day. So maybe it was only, 10 minutes maybe he wrote about. Right. Which a personal narrative can be 10 minutes or it can be a couple days. Madeline.
And it's about one important event.
One important event. Do you think going to a new school is an important day in your life? For sure. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to work independently while I see some kids at the table over there, and I'm going to give you more stories and some highlighters. And what I want you to do is as you're reading the stories, I want you to highlight any of these text features. So if you see descriptive language or you see an emotion, I want you to highlight that And then afterwards, we're going to share them together. So you're going to share them with your partner. We're going to share them with the class. So I want you to be ready to share that. So I've got some more stories. And there's different ones. So I'm going to pass them out to you, and you're going to get whichever one you get. Okay? Some of you will be reading the same story. Some of you will be reading different ones. And I will pass out some highlighters. And actually, Oscar, do you want to help me? Do you want to pass out highlighters for me? That would be great. So highlight only those text features. And then if you're reading another book independently, you can read that on your own too, okay? So when you get this finished, then you can read your book independently too, and we'll come back together and we'll share what we learned.